This video is about to get very surgical.
Straight up. Everybody a thug till them lights pull up. And everybody got a gun until ICE pull up. A middle finger to the president, cause I ain't too impressed. How the fuck you kicking niggas out? Ain't you niggas guess, so it's death to an ICE truck driver.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. This Earl and Mike album really had me thinking, right? We don't talk enough about Earl's place amongst the greats of hip hop, right? Because I think in a vacuum, it's easy to overlook Earl's career. A lot of the fact due to his like low profile. But if you really start to pick his career apart, bro, we're probably talking about one of the great like 30, top 35 like hip hop artists of all time. Like, I don't know. You could probably put him in top 25 if you want to be honest. You feel what I'm saying? And once I go over his career a little bit, we ain't gonna dissect it too much, but I got a couple slides pulled up. Once we really go over this real quick, I think it'll make a lot of sense. Okay? So first and foremost, right? The dude was a part of one of the most influential hip hop groups of all time. If you missed, you know what I'm saying? This is more my generation. I know a lot of, you know, millennials or Gen Xers were not there for this. You feel what I'm saying? Or wasn't really interested in this. But niggas was in middle school, high school, listening to Odd Future. Odd Future really popped and took over. And their influence on the culture at that point was crazy. It was crazy. You feel what I'm saying? We talking about a whole bunch of young, reckless, creative dudes from LA that could really rap. A lot of these dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got a lot of these groups coming out now and people not focused on rapping. These dudes was rapping their ass off. Damo Genesis, Earl Sweatshirt, Tyler the Creator, like all these dudes was rapping. They was making dope. Tyler Creator was making dope ass beats. You got a lot of Clips influence. You feel what I'm saying? Like a lot of MF Doom. They brought like, I would say that they even highlighted MF Doom to an entire generation of people. Like, that's one thing we don't talk about when it comes to our future. And amongst all of them, Earl was the clear prodigy. Right? Yeah, like, yeah, Todd the Creator, incredible producer, incredible. But when we talk about, oh, yeah, nah, this dude is like special. That was Earl Sweatshirt. You feel what I'm saying? Like, let's just talk about the fact that he dropped this mixtape at 16 years old. And that's not even to mention the little pieces of kitchen cutlery where, you know, you got Molly Watt, then you got all them tracks on there, you know, as slide tendencies. Because he was younger than that. Rapping better than niggas who was in the game for you. Like, he was nicer than a lot of niggas. Like, give me, like, this might sound crazy. Give me 15-year-old Earl versus, you know, bar for bar versus Lil Wayne. And we having a conversation of niggas getting busy. Like, that's not crazy to me. For some of y'all it might be. But if you haven't listened to Slide Tendencies, then you got nothing to say for real. This Earl mixtape, bro, this nigga was rapping at a level where it was like, everybody was like, yo, there's a new level that was set. There was a new standard that Earl created, right? As a young MC, you had to be a certain level of nice, right? Because it's this 16-year-old coming out with some of the craziest horrorcore, you know what I'm saying, Brother Lynch, Eminem-esque, you feel me, still in relation to MF Doom-esque type thing. Like, they really broke the Matrix with this, bro. This Earl mixtape was crazy because we hadn't seen a nigga that young rapping like this, bro. If you haven't heard this mixtape, go play it. But niggas had not seen a nigga this young rapping like this since probably Nas. I'm just being honest. I'm being dead serious. Don't get me wrong. Wayne was fire and boom, boom, all that. Wayne wasn't this nice. A lot of niggas was not this nice at 15, 16, bro. This is a classic mixtape. Earl dropped a classic mixtape at 16 years old, rapping his ass off over shit. Like, they really changed the sound for a lot of shit, bro. Like, they went crazy. Like, some of my favorite verses of this whole era, the blog era, whatever, come from this mixtape. Like, Earl was out rapping damn near everybody, bro. Okay, that takes off, right? This is legendary here. That takes off, is everywhere. People going crazy, boom, 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 right? And then Earl ends up going to Samoa, right? He ends up getting in trouble. You know what I'm saying? They doing all this wild shit as teenagers and all that, and Earl ends up getting shipped to Samoa by his parents. You feel what I'm saying? This created a whole free Earl campaign. It was some of the crazy, if you was there, it was some of the craziest shit you ever seen, bro. Like, it was wild. This dude, there was a point where I was seeing this and I really thought that he was locked up in prison or locked up in juvenile detention for whatever. And this dude was in Samoa. You feel what I'm saying? But it was some of the craziest shit, bro. Like, he was, the Free Earl campaign was crazy. There was really genuinely a lack of a presence missing. And you seen all different types of underground artists at that time get on that train talking about Free Earl, bro. Like, it was special. Like, so already Earl has already conduced one of the most, like, prolific careers that you could have at this point. You got a classic mixtape, right? You get shipped to Samoa. That's an amazing story for the legacy. And niggas and the world, the country has gone wild talking about Free Earl. You feel what I'm saying? Then Earl comes back after the hiatus, does a return. It's some of the, bro, I'm telling you, when niggas found out Earl was back and he was on that oldie verse, bro, I'm telling you, bro, it's not too many moments in hip hop that I've experienced in real time that can match the level of impact that this moment had. Not only that, this nigga came back rapping better. This nigga came back rapping even better. Way better. Like, I'm talking, niggas was getting busy on OD. Don't get me wrong. This nigga Earl stumped a mud hole in that instrumental. Stumped a mud hole in that instrumental. Got out of his body. Left Earth. And it's crazy because his style was different. Like, he was still rapping in a similar way, but his style had changed a little bit. It was like, it was a maturity and an elevation in his ability. And when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, bro, you got this child prodigy, right, who drops a classic mixtape, gets shit to Samoa, Free Earl campaign. I can't remember how long it was. I think it was probably a year or some change or something like that. He comes back and delivers one of the coldest verses in recent memory, bro. I'm talking, there were a bunch of dope spitters at this time. You feel what I'm saying? Earl set himself apart from everybody. There wasn't a lot of people that was able to do what Earl was doing, especially because he was so young. He was so young. I also feel like Our Future played a huge role in inspiring Pro Era and Joey Badass and all of them. I remember at one point, it almost felt like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was like it was like Pro Era was like the East Coast Our Future. You feel what I'm saying? With Capital Steez and Joey and all that, boom, boom. But Earl, though, Earl was nicer than everybody. Earl was nicer. I'm not talking about literally everybody, because clearly, you know what I'm saying? But Earl was nicer than damn near everybody. And niggas his age was not rapping like this. And he was rapping better than 90% of the game, bro. There's nothing to talk about. I mean, you could debate. He was rapping better than everybody. Dead serious. It's extremely debatable. You feel what I'm saying? So then, they anticipate, everybody's anticipating, okay, we need a new Earl project now. Earl comes out with the debut album, Doris. Bro, the way this album took over, bruh, Earl was him. Earl was him when this album dropped. Earl was him, bro. This shit was everywhere. Classic album. Now, there was a point in time where I was thinking like, damn, this didn't really age that well and all that different shit, because I think a lot of the stuff on the album just feels like a lot of his verses are super free verse. But when I think about like the MF Doom influence and just how many underground, just looking back, bro, the Mac Miller feature, bro, I'm not gonna lie, this is a classic album. This is a classic album. The moment, the music. I remember the intro. You feel what I'm saying? In the Burgundy Hive. You feel what I'm saying? Probably one of the coldest Vince Staples verses of all time. That nigga left his body on that shit. Vince and Earl is an interesting combination because Earl usually be killing everybody, but the one dude that be kind of getting Earl is Vince. Vince got a pretty good record on Earl. I ain't gonna lie. And Earl be cooking everybody else. Earl cooked Kendrick on the track. Earl cooked Kendrick, Soul, and Danny Brown on the track. But he can't. I ain't gonna lie. Vince Staples be kind of getting Earl sometimes. But all I'm saying this album was fantastic at the time. You feel what I'm saying? It was something like, it was everywhere. The instrumentals, the flow pot, he was breaking barriers with a lot of the stuff that he did on this album. It was like a mix of that dirty underground, but still mainstream, because this album coming out at this time, you feel what I'm saying? It was a big thing. It was huge. It was huge because it was Earl Sweatshirt. You feel what I'm saying? And it was his debut after dropping the oldie version. So at this point, we like, what does a new Earl album sound like? Right? He ain't dropped a project since the Earl mixtape. What does the mature, just came back from Samoa Earl sound like? And the maturity in his lyricism, the maturity in his perspective. We didn't really get the full version of that, but in reality, it's like you could tell that there was a huge difference in what Earl was able to provide here. You feel what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, Earl did his thing with Doris. Earl did his thing. There's nothing to talk about. Okay. Now, this video would be 3 hours long if I go over the whole damn feature run that he went on after Doris. Collabs with Doom, collabs with Miller, collabs with Vince, collabs with Damo, collabs with really anybody you can, bruh. The underground in general at this time, Earl was collabing with them niggas. Like, Earl was on everybody's shit, bro, all the time. Just giving, every time you seen Earl as a feature, you knew, oh yeah, he about to body somebody. Like, you knew every single time if Earl was on that track, them niggas that was on that track was getting cooked. Earl was out rapping everybody on their own shit that whole run. And I could literally do an entire video on Earl's feature run post Doris, but it would just make this video stupid long, so we're not gonna do that. Then we get to, in my opinion, a lot of people don't agree with this. I don't know why. But this is Earl's, like, in reality, I really want to say it's Earl's magnum opus. You feel what I'm saying? But there are some stuff that comes later that I really want to look at. But I don't like shit. I don't go outside, bro. This album right here, I think it was this album and To Pimp a Butterfly in 2015 that was like, made 2015 so special for me, bro. Because not only was he producing on this album, but this album was like so ridiculously underground. Because and the fact that it had as much hype behind it, and he went in this direction, right? And it was so gutter, and it was so just dirty. You feel what I'm saying? The mixing wasn't even all that great. It wasn't like, it literally reshaped my ears as far as what to expect and what to want from albums. The Earl was one of them dudes where, you know, the album got a minute and 30 song that's a minute and 30 songs is 2 minutes. The whole album was like 32 minutes or something like that. And I remember conversations around that, like, damn, the album too short, boom, boom. But in reality, a lot of people ended up adopting this run, like this type of thing, like the short track, straight to the point, boom, boom. But all that reconsider, right? Forget all that. The level of maturity and vulnerability and depth is what he delivered on this album. You really seen him peel back the layers and dig deep into his own psyche, into his own perspective, into his own reality with this album. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he got dirty on this album, and he peeled back stupid layers. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. You feel what I'm saying? From Huey to Grief. I remember he released the single Grief and the music video, and it was like, bro, what is this? Like, my ears were like, what is going on? What is this? What is this? Good Grief, like Grief itself, along with the music video, the way they shot it, like that whole energy around the album, like, bro, you just had to be there, bro. If you wasn't there, that's so unfortunate for you. Like, reality. If you wasn't there when this album came out, that's extremely unfortunate for you. To get this album and To Pimp a Butterfly in the same year, extremely unfortunate for you, bro. Extremely unfortunate. Even Wool is crazy. That whole track list is just ridiculous. That's what I should have pulled up on this video. Was a track list to these albums. But I'm not gonna go back and redo it. We just gonna keep rocking. But man, off the top of my head, just the way that Earl was able to break down his perspective of everything that was going on at this time, especially when you seen that there was a rift between him and Odd Future, and I think there was like a rift in general in Odd Future around this time. This was a legendary. I think this is another classic album. This is another classic album, especially we talking about for the underground. We talking about, you can't talk about the legacy of what hip hop became in this genre of the underground without Earl Sweatshirt in this album. This album right here ushered in an entirely new, different sound for the underground. Really, a whole, like, he took lo-fi. Earl single-handedly, I'm not going to say it was just him, because it wasn't, but Earl was literally the leader of taking lo-fi to a completely different level in hip-hop with this album. Earl literally put lo-fi on his back with this album. And to do that on his deal at this time, especially dealing with all the issues with the label, and I really think the label intentionally sabotaged him, but that's for a whole different conversation. Maybe we'll make a video on that. But I really do feel like that. I really do think they sabotaged this release. But bro, Earl literally put lo-fi on his back with this album. And we talking about just gutter instrumentals, not worrying about the mix, just uploading the song, fuck the mix, fuck this shit being super clean and super like polished and everything sounding, fuck all that. We gonna keep it super gutter, super, it's as hip-hop as you could possibly get. When we talk about hip-hop, it really this is one of the perfect representations of what that's supposed to be in my perspective. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he broke so many rules with this damn album. Now we're going to fast forward to some rap songs. Okay, which in my opinion is another problem. Like, I'm not as big as some rap songs. It's a lot of people, but in the underground, this is classic. This is another classic in the underground. This is another classic project. Once again, I'm not as big on it. You know what? Wait. No. Forget some rap songs. No. Hold on. All my real ones know this. After I Don't Like Shit, I'll Go Outside was the era of Unreleased Earl. The era of Unreleased Earl. I'm not gonna lie. There's not one artist in the history of hip hop that went on the unreleased run that Earl went on. I'm talking about nigga was having millions of plays on songs that never came out. Now, I know there's other artists that do that, of course, but him coming out and doing these shows where he's just rapping these songs and they never get released, bro, in the underground, bro, niggas kicking it. Niggas be playing these songs like they were out. Like, bro, if you was there, you know what I'm talking about. The unreleased run from Earl was ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. The songs coming out of nowhere. Do y'all remember the Solace Project? Bro, there's a lot of shit coming in. I'm remembering. The Solace Project. Another great little EP situation. Amazing. You feel what I'm saying? And then just going more and more and more underground. The deeper that Earl got into his career, the further underground he went. Real talk. And then he started producing. Bro, but the unreleased run that Earl went on is unprecedented. I ain't gonna lie. It ain't another artist out there that went on that type of run with unreleased music. It ain't another artist out there. I just gotta be honest. I don't care if it's Kendrick. I don't care if it's whoever you want to talk about. Nobody had the unreleased run that Earl Sweatshirt had. It's nothing to talk about, bro. After I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside, bro could have dropped a whole album with unreleased shit and niggas would have copped that. Real talk. Unmixed live versions, bro. There are playlists with just live versions of songs that never got released by Earl Sweatshirt just out there that niggas play regularly. Especially during the SoundCloud era. Man, this nigga was releasing shit under new names. Really, like come on, bro. Come on. You got to be... It's different, bro. Okay? We also talking about a dude that would just disappear for long extensions of time and come back and still be in the same atmosphere, right? Some rap songs, of course, I think he goes even deeper underground on some rap songs. Amazing project. I'm not as big on it as everybody else is, but in the underground, this is another classic. So, bro, at this point, before we even get into 2025, because I am going to skip a few projects to get to 2025, but before we even get to 2025, we talking about a guy who dropped a classic mixtape at 16, rapping better than really almost everybody, right? A guy who played a pivotal role in one of the most influential hip-hop groups in the history of the genre. Don't forget Loiter Squad and what they was doing on television and all this different stuff, bro. There will never be another Odd Future. Ever. If they came back and did a tour, a countrywide tour or whatever, it'd be some of the craziest shit ever. And I'm gonna make a video on that, because that, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know what they got going on, but Odd Future tour, Odd Future reunion tour, boy, listen, bro. So not only are you a part of one of the most influential groups of all time, and you play a pivotal role in that, you also got a classic mixtape out by 16. You disappear and go to Samoa for a year or so. You come back and drop another classic verse on a classic posse cut. Oldie is one of the most classic posse cuts of all time. Earl is a standout on that motherfucking classic. Then you come out and drop a classic album on top of that after you done with the oldie joint, right? You come back 2 years later, but I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside, and put an entire underground genre on your back. You upgrade, you platform lo-fi in a way that it hadn't been platformed in I don't know how long, right? You turn around for a little bit, come back with some rap songs that a lot of the underground considers a classic album, right? I don't know how I feel about calling it a classic. I feel like I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside and all that might be, you feel me? But I also understand why people call it a classic. I'm just not fond of some of the songs on there, but I get why they call it a classic. So at this point, bro, Earl has all, and we not even talking about the feature run. We not talking about the low key, SoundCloud shit. We not talking about we not even talking about all that. Earl at this point has already established himself as the next generation's MF Doom. I'm not saying from a production level, but the closest thing to MF Doom, you know what I'm saying? If it ain't John Wayne, if it ain't, you feel what I'm saying? That's a real one for my niggas out there. What y'all know about John Wayne? But anyway, if it ain't that, if it ain't boom, 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 Earl is of that caliber. Earl is of one of them. You feel what I'm saying? Like Earl is the MF Doom, if not of this generation, as far as the moves, the cult-like fan base that is always there when he got something to go. Just everything, bro. Like Earl has been able to maintain in a way that a lot of artists have not been able to maintain, right? Then we fast forward a lot to get to this point. There's a lot of projects that we could talk about, but this video ended up being 45 minutes. We fast forward to Live, Laugh, Love, and I want y'all to really think about this. This is during the time where it's post-battle. And I don't know about y'all, but post-battle was such a crucial time in my perspective for hip-hop. A lot of people have like moved on from I guess the energy of that, I guess. But in my opinion, it's still one of the most crucial times post-battle. And we got a lot of incredible projects during that time. And I think a lot of the projects that came out restored a lot of the expectations of the people who love this thing. You feel what I'm saying? Earl played his role in that. Clips, Chance, Wale, all these guys played their role in that. Earl was stamped in this portion of history. When we look back 10 years from now, we think about what happened after the Kendrick and Drake battle. Earl's contribution will be stamped in the history of the genre, bro. Live, Laugh, Love, spectacular album. Spectacular album. You feel what I'm saying? It's a very seasoned Earl, and it represents the Earl that has made it past all the depressed, grungy shit that he was rapping about in some rap songs. I don't like shit, I don't go outside, Doris, and all of that. This is the renewed Earl, the Earl that's a father, the Earl that's in tune with his heart. You know what I'm saying? The Earl that's lively, fresh, looking to create, you can tell that Earl is looking at the world in a completely different lens. You feel what I'm saying? Especially as a father. When you have, for all my fathers out there, you know, having a child changes your life. You feel what I'm saying? And you can hear it in the way that Earl is presenting his music. You can hear it in Earl's posture and all this different shit. You feel me? So shout out to Earl. But this album right here, man, listen. Amazing album. Y'all should go check it out if you ain't listened to it. But it stamped his contribution of the post battle, and it was an incredible contribution. And that brings me to the new Earl and Mike album. Now, a lot of people there's people out there that you know what I'm saying. I don't want to be that guy and say you don't get it. I really don't want to be that guy. But in reality, this is for, you know what I'm saying. This ain't for everybody, and that's okay. This album ain't for everybody. In my perspective, this is one of the albums of the year. I'm gonna give it its own review, but I really want to wait till Monday to really give it its own review. I'm still listening to it. Shout out to Mike, and Earl, but bro, Mike, Earl, and Surf Gang put up 80 on this motherfucking project, bro. I don't know what to tell y'all. They put up 80 on this project, and Earl is still extending his career by breaking the boundary again, by challenging the boundary again. And I'm telling you, for all the people that's saying, oh, you shouldn't, boom, 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 and if a lot of niggas is gonna start sounding like this, because Earl has been that type of tastemaker since the beginning. Earl has been a type of tastemaker. When he come and start delivering a new sound and a new delivery, a new flow, boom, boom, the underground follows suit, bro. And niggas don't get that about Earl, but you gotta be in the underground to get that about Earl. You feel what I'm saying? And Earl has been the tastemaker for the underground for years. He is that prevalent figure for the underground. Like he's done nothing but platform all these different artists and create new waves and he's really like Earl is like an Erykah Badu ass nigga. Like when it comes to this thing, bro. And I'm not saying I'm just saying like what Earl has been able to open up for and create the space for. And you know what I'm saying? Like the mob, and I'm not saying he's responsible for these guys, but I'm saying like the Mobbies, the Mikes, all these different guys. Like Earl has quite literally opened up an entire space in this thing. His legacy is greater than even Tyler Creator's, in my opinion. And he don't got as many sales, he don't got as many all of that. But when this thing is said and done, Earl Sweatshirt has more Earl Sweatshirt has more cultural and musical influence, in my opinion, than really anybody out of our future. You feel what I'm saying? Like when we talk about this underground, that Earl is the main reason that a lot of this shit got ushered in. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like you can't talk the underground in the last decade without talking about Earl Sweatshirt. You just can't, bro. You just can't, bro. And when we start putting all these pieces together, Earl is one of the greatest of all time, nigga. If you really start breaking this shit down, if I really went over everything, Earl is one of the greatest of all motherfucking time. Underground legend. Underground Hall of Famer. First ballot Hall of Famer, bro. Real shit. And there's nothing to talk about. We talking about this. He underground, but when they ask Kendrick who's your favorite, who you think's the best out right now, that nigga said in 2015, that nigga said Earl Sweatshirt. That's coming from the greatest of his generation, Kendrick Lamar. This is post to Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar. Talking about Earl is the best. Maybe his favorite. Earl's his best or his favorite artist out. Earl Sweatshirt, like nigga, Earl is your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. Just like Doom was your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, Earl is your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, nigga. It's nothing to talk about. Earl is him, bro. Like I don't give a fuck about that freestyle that niggas trying to get on him about. Like, I'm gonna make a video on that too. But in reality, bro, niggas gotta start putting respect on Earl's name, nigga. Because y'all niggas tripping. Y'all niggas tripping. Y'all gotta put respect on Earl's name, bro. Because I'm telling you, lo-fi isn't where it is today without Earl Sweatshirt. I'm just telling you. And shout out to everybody that's contributed too. But nigga, let's be real. Let's be real here. Okay? But hey, man, like, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new here, especially if you've been here. Make sure y'all check out my music. You feel what I'm saying? You can check me out on Spotify. My new single, F Ice, is out everywhere. You feel what I'm saying? You can go check that out. On top of before I even go, Earl also challenges the boundaries politically in his music. You know what I'm saying? Free Gaza, we on the corner like Israelites. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Earl also challenges politically. And he's been doing that since I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside. You feel what I'm saying? Speaking that, come on, man. We'll talk about that at a different time. But make sure y'all give Earl his propers, man. Like, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new, especially if you've been here. Check out my music on Spotify. I'll put the link down below for you to check out the F Ice song. You feel what I'm saying? The comments and all that. Give Earl his motherfucking propers. Stop playing with that nigga, bro. I'm going to catch y'all.